physicals.
You mentioned you think this will work in the short term and the long term. Short term makes great sense. How do you see this working out well for the organization in the long term?
Well, I think the long term is the time frame. I think he fits our time frame. If you pair him with Kyrie and the rest of the guys, he fits right along with our time frame to win now and win in the future. And the future to me is 3-4 years from now. The future, 10 years from now, I don't know. I don't think they probably bury me and Jay by then, or we bury ourselves.
Yes.
And wait till you hear how Diddy and LeBron get tangled up in this madness. The league moves fast, but this was a full-on earthquake.
Luka is one of my favorite players in the NBA today. From the simple fact of the way I play the game is exactly how I love the way he plays the game.
1 minute, Luka's torching defenders in Dallas, dropping 40 like it's nothing, flashing that sly grin that says, "You can't guard me." Next, he's rumored to be packing for Los Angeles. Wild, right?
As defenders, is it important that you now have a defensive player of the year candidate in Luka? He seems to think that he's telling us that he wants some.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
For
just let me
sure.
check.
You'd think the Mavs would protect their golden ticket at all costs, but hey, loyalty sounds pretty until the salary cap comes knocking. Because when that money crunch hits, even your franchise player turns into just another asset.
Dad would have never thought Luka Doncic would get traded at this age, mid-season. And the NBA is a wild place, man. If he can get traded, then anybody's up, for grabs.
The second news broke that Luka Doncic had been traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis and 2 picks. The NBA didn't just react, it exploded.
Oziroma, bom rekel, kar strani nekaterih posameznikov, mogoče hinavščina celo, da to pa me osebno boli, ker mislim, da se Luka absolutno tega ni zaslužil.
Every feed social turned chaotic. Shams Charania dropped the bomb first, and within minutes, ESPN, Bleacher Report, and every basketball podcast alive went into meltdown mode. The internet lost its mind. People swore Dallas had officially lost control, while others said the Lakers were doing what they always do, stealing stars.
You know what I want? I want Luka to the Lakers. I want Jokic to the Knicks. I want all the Europeans to go to all the big market.
Unreal? Absolutely. But let's be real, this didn't just pop out of thin air. If you were paying attention, you could feel the storm coming. Whispers from the front office, quiet leaks about Luka calling more shots behind the scenes, and growing frustration with Jason Kidd's rotations. All signs that something was off. And those awkward post-game interviews, Luka looked tired, done with repeating the same old lines. The Kyrie extension was supposed to fix things, but the chemistry, it never clicked. Dallas looked drained, not by Luka's game, but by everything orbiting around it.
Leaving that day to travel back, and my phone just starts blowing up left and right, and then I kind of looked on social media, and I think I was as shocked and surprised as everybody was.
Still, trading him? That's nuclear-level desperation. Because let's be honest, he wasn't just their best player, he was their identity. He carried that team through every playoff run, every clutch shot, every season where the roster barely looked playoff-worthy. He made Dallas matter again. Even his teammates knew it.
I told Luka straight up, don't let Diddy's world pull you in. One of your teammates already made that mistake.
Derek Lively once said Luka made everyone better just by how much attention he drew. And Derek Jones Jr., he said Luka's ability to read defenses made you want to raise your game. Those interviews hit different now, like echoes of what the Mavs lost the moment they let him go. But here's where it gets even crazier. This move wasn't implosive. Sources close to the Lakers front office say this deal had been quietly cooking for months.
I was out with my family at dinner and got the news, and the first time I heard it, I thought it was for sure fake. That was a hoax. People messing around, whatever.
There were secret calls, number crunching, luxury tax gymnastics, and a shared sense of urgency that something big had to happen, and fast. Because when superstars start whispering and power players like Diddy and LeBron get involved behind the curtain, that's when you know this wasn't just a trade, it was a takeover.
I have kept quiet long enough, but what they did to Luka, that was personal.
The Lakers were staring straight at the end of the LeBron era, and reality was setting in fast. Anthony Davis wasn't exactly proving he could hold down the throne on his own. His health was shaky, his numbers kept slipping, and every time he sat out, the team looked completely lost.
So it's still a grieving process right now. Miss my hermano. We had a lot of time together. Keith too, and Maxie.
So the Lakers did what they always do. They went hunting for their next superstar trophy. Meanwhile, in Dallas, the mood was complicated. A wild mix of heartbreak and low-key relief. Fans were crushed because Luka was their guy, the one who brought Dallas back to life, made them matter again. But deep down, some people whispered that maybe, just maybe, the reset was overdue. The Mavs had been stuck in this endless loop. Strong regular seasons followed by those same disappointing playoff exits. Something had to give. So when the deal dropped, it almost made sense. Kind of. Anthony Davis, for all his flaws, still brought championship DNA, elite defense, and that big market swagger. Add in Derek Lively, Grant Williams, and some new rotation depth from those Lakers picks, and the Dallas front office started pushing this slick narrative that it wasn't a rebuild, just a transition. But come on, Luka for AD? That's like trading a PlayStation 6 for a PlayStation 2 that still turns on but glitches every now and then. And it leaves you wondering, what does loyalty even mean in the NBA anymore? Luka wasn't just loyal, he built Dallas's brand from scratch. He made fans believe again and redefined how the league viewed European stars. But loyalty doesn't balance the budget, and it sure doesn't fix the cap space mess. That's the cold truth of the business. Now fans are finally starting to see it for what it is. Teams don't wait around for loyalty or legacy anymore. If they sense tension brewing, they move. If the salary numbers don't line up, they move. It's not personal, it's just business. Pure and simple, math dressed up in drama. This Luka trade made one thing painfully clear. Nobody's safe anymore. The Mavericks didn't move their superstar because he failed them. They did it because the system told them it made sense. The numbers lined up, the timing fit, and both sides were ready for something new. But here's the twist. It's kind of poetic when you think about it. Luka wanted control. Dallas wanted structure. And somehow they both got exactly what they asked for, just not in the way they pictured it. Now the NBA's got a brand new face for this modern superstar era, and the proof is in how Luka handled it all. No tantrums, no cryptic tweets, no storming off mid-interview. He kept it cool, which made the whole thing hit even harder. Meanwhile in Dallas, the team's trying to figure out who they are without him, and you can feel the growing pains all over the court. The early games tell the story. More balanced ball movement, less ISO-heavy play, and everyone's actually touching the rock. Lively's played with confidence, Kyrie's stepping into that leadership role, and even Jason Kidd looks like he's breathing easier with his rotations. But let's be real, it's still weird. Luka's shadow is all over that arena. And if this trade proved anything, it's that no one is untouchable anymore, not even the man who made the entire city believe again. But just when everyone thought the chaos had peaked, the real madness kicked off right after that. If the trade itself was shocking, what came next was a total PR nightmare. Mavericks GM Nico Harrison had to step in front of the cameras and face the fire, and it looked like he had no clue how deep Luka's impact ran. He stood there talking about long-term vision, roster balance, building for the future, but the fans weren't buying any of it. All they heard was a man trying to justify losing their franchise soul. Then came the moment that sealed it. Harrison admitted he hadn't realized the emotional weight Luka carried for Dallas. That single line said it all. They didn't truly understand what they were giving up. Because come on, it was obvious. Luka was Dallas. From the giant murals splashed across the city walls to those sold-out nights where every seat was rocking, from his electric rookie debut to every last-second buzzer beater, Luka didn't just play for the Mavericks, he was the Mavericks. He wasn't just the face of the Mavericks, he was the heartbeat that kept the whole city alive. So when the man running the show admitted he didn't realize how deep that bond went, that's when the fans snapped. Nico tried to keep it cool, staying all business and strategy, but it came off cold, almost robotic. And that's exactly where Dallas tripped up. They completely underestimated the emotion tied to that announcement, the trade, and everything that came with it. Maybe moving Luka was inevitable, but the rollout, that was a disaster. The tone, the wording, the lack of empathy turned what could have been a strategic rebuild into a full-blown media meltdown. Because for fans, this wasn't about salary caps or roster flexibility. It was about losing the one player who gave them hope. Every night, Luka made people believe again, and you can't just replace that with numbers on a spreadsheet. And then came the final spark. Luka's father jumped in publicly, calling out the front office for not handling things with transparency. Boom! That single statement turned outrage into a wildfire. Suddenly, the Mavs were no longer managing a trade, they were managing a crisis. At that point, the team's PR crew was scrambling just to keep up. But here's what they forgot. Sometimes how you say something hits harder than what you say. They wanted to make it sound like a well-thought-out, strategic move, but instead, it came off heartless, like they'd ripped the soul right out of the franchise. Nico's honesty about misjudging Luka's impact might have been real, but to fans, it sounded like an accidental confession, proof that they didn't understand what Luka truly meant to Dallas. And while all this chaos was unfolding, the awkward pressers, the empty corporate statements, and Nico awkwardly acting like he had no clue Luka was loved that much, it felt like everything had hit a breaking point. Fans were furious, local media was relentless, and even the league itself started buzzing. Because let's be real, trades like this never stay quiet. The moment the official statement dropped, the internet exploded. Ex-players were weighing in, TikTok analysts were dissecting every quote, and even that one old-school fan who still swears Dallas should have kept Pengus was chiming in. The NBA community was boiling over. You could feel the energy like a storm ready to hit. And then boom, the explosion came fast. LeBron James was the first major voice to react, and man, the irony was chef's kiss perfect. This is the same guy who shook the entire sports world with the decision back in 2010. So if anyone knows what it's like to have the league lose its mind over one move, it's him. At first, LeBron didn't even believe it was real. He straight up said he had to double check to make sure it wasn't a parody account. The king himself, stunned by Luka's move. That's when it hit everyone. This wasn't just another blockbuster trade, this was history in real time. LeBron started talking about how he'd always dreamed of teaming up with Luka, calling it one of those once-in-a-generation alignments. You could feel the energy through his words, like even he knew this was something rare. But of course, LeBron's reaction instantly split the internet in half. Some fans were all in, saying, yeah, he's hyped, who wouldn't be? While others rolled their eyes, claiming he was just being calculated, playing the media game like the pro he's always been. Still, there was something real in his excitement, a spark that didn't feel scripted. And while LA was buzzing with joy, back in Dallas, the vibe couldn't be more heartbreaking. Dirk Nowitzki looked crushed, like someone had just told him they were tearing down the AAC and replacing it with a Starbucks. This is Dirk, the man who built the Mavericks culture brick by brick, the legend who stayed loyal through every high and low, and now he was watching it all flip upside down. For a move that felt more like an Excel spreadsheet than a basketball decision, Dirk didn't need to say much. His face said it all. The disappointment sat heavy in the air, and fans felt that silence. Because if there's one player who defines loyalty and grinded-out dedication, it's Dirk. Seeing him at a loss for words hit fans right in the chest. Then came Kyrie's take, surprisingly calm but layered with emotion. He opened up about how much it hurt losing Luka, saying it felt like losing a brother. You could tell that line wasn't for the cameras, it came straight from the heart. But in true Kyrie fashion, he flipped the energy, welcoming Anthony Davis to Dallas and talking about balance and new opportunity. He gave props to guys like Josh Green and Maxi Kleber too, trying to keep the locker room spirit alive while clearly